Hi Mireille, welcome to my YouTube channel.
Hello, thank you for having me, Julie.
So Mireille is a global entrepreneur and she is joining us here today from Perth, Australia. I hope you're doing well, Mireille.
I'm doing fantastic and actually very excited for, this interview today. So looking forward to interact with you and your audience today.
Thank you so much for joining me today. And Mireille, do you want to introduce yourself to my viewers?
Yeah, no problem. So I'm Mireille Toulekima. I'm based in Perth in Australia. I'm a global entrepreneur, but my background is in engineering. So I'm a petroleum engineering, been working in oil, gas, and energy sector. But at the same time, I've been doing a lot of empowerment work across continents. So I focus my empowerment work on STEM standing for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, but also making sure that, I empower women. So focus on women, focus as well on entrepreneurship. So those are the key area where I do a lot of work with different people around the world. And it has been, going on for more than 20 years now. So I'm really, really happy and enjoying it really.
So Mireille, since you've been working with women entrepreneurs from around the world, so any experience which stands out, which you want to talk about?
Oh yeah, it's always, I'm so passionate about it. So I've been doing a lot of work, making sure women understand that they have to be part of STEM and make sure that they don't disqualify themselves from being part of it, because everything that we use, everything that we touch now has a STEM impact, and you don't really want women to be left on the side of all of this. So what I've seen so far, going around the world, is women are pretty reluctant at some point to get into STEM, because they think that it's more for men, and they don't always understand that, just what I said, that everything that we do now, starting from food, so in agriculture, starting from health, and everything that we do, even finance, has a STEM impact now, especially with the fourth and digital revolution. So we have to be part of it. So, when I talk about, if I focus on the energy and oil and gas sector, what I've seen so far is, when I started 25 years ago, it was difficult to attract women, but there've been some changes, there've been some progress. Now we've been able to attract a little bit more women, but they don't stay, especially when they start to have families. It becomes very difficult for them. So we have what we call a leaking pipeline, which is, you get now the woman coming in, but it's very difficult for them to, it's very difficult to retain them. Some of them because of family reason, and for other, it's because they get stuck, they reach this ceiling, and they just, get discouraged and pivot to something more where they can, find themselves and really continue. So it's been a long road. We're getting there. The numbers are still low, but I think with, advocacy, championing, and especially, women like us, adding our voice and helping them, sharing the mistake that we've made, and coming up with the opportunity that we see, it becomes a little bit more, manageable. And I'm always an advocate of, when you see it, you know that you can become it. So when they see women like us who've been able to make it, they have more faith that, they can do it, and they can learn from what we've done really wrong, to be able to fast track in a way their journey in those industries.
Yeah. So since we are talking about advocacy, I think our path aligns when it comes to women entrepreneurship and STEM, because I'm a mathematics graduate. So, do you have any suggestions how we can overcome the challenge and how we can keep women in STEM? I mean, I've spoken to various women from around the world, and I want your opinion, or what can we do as a group to lead women into, sustain them into STEM?
So I think that I see different aspects. So you first have the cultural aspect, especially in developing countries, and I think probably in India is the case as well. Just having, those discussion and including men to really make it something that becomes part of the culture, that women can also, now access some of the industry that they don't want them to access. So I think that's the cultural aspect is very important, starting so in the family, starting in the in the community, to start to really have the debate and really make sure understand that it's not just about gender parity or women empowerment. It's about empowering everyone. Yes. Because in those industry we need more more skilled people, and just having men, it's not enough. We need to have the woman to get involved. So that's the first aspect. The second aspect is also the mindset of women themselves, because I think sometimes we disqualify ourselves from the beginning. And especially you see that a lot in developed countries where women already accept that, no, I don't want to be in those industry. I'm not probably going to be able to make it. I'm going to be a minority, and I don't want to do it. So really start to change the mindset, and the way to change it, it's to really make sure that we relate those industries, we relate STEM to anything that we do every day, and to make them understand, for example, that now we have the fintech, and as part of the fintech, if we really want to empower ourselves, financially, we need to understand STEM, because there's a strong aspect with, all the new cryptocurrency, the blockchain and everything. So we don't want to be left out of that. Otherwise, it's going to be very difficult for us to empower, ourselves economically and become independent. Yeah, and there's also, the health system, where we understand, especially if we are in rural area, being able to access, the right specialists or the right people through the internet or through the phone or through anything, to be able to get, the services that we need. And really relate, STEM to all those everyday event, everyday need, so that they start to understand that at the end of the day, whether we want it or not, we are involved in it. The best step is to just, now embrace it and try to, participate and give, all the energy necessary, so that our voice is taken into account and our needs as women are taken into account. So those are the key things. And also going at the grassroots as well, looking at girls. And that's what I've been doing. I started a social venture in Uganda, where we reach out to girls, especially from secondary school to early university, to make them understand the opportunity that exists in STEM, and really make sure that it becomes something that they integrate in everything that they do. It's not something that is special. So really, I think those are the three key aspects where I think we can have an impact and start to shift things, to make sure that women start to embrace STEM and start to participate, because that's the most important thing at this stage.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The other thing is, I've been speaking to women from around the world who are in STEM, and this is something which I have heard regularly and which I agree with, is that we need women to be the policymakers as well, from the the decision making, from that aspect, from the government policies. If those are changed, then there will be more women who would be able to join STEM as well as sustain themselves in STEM. What's your opinion on that?
I think it's important because women need the flexibility, especially when we look at the responsibility that they have, as a family. They carry the family, so they need to have this flexibility to be able to do both, and it's going to help them to get in a position where they can access high level position in those industry. And it comes down to the policies, but for the policies to be able to to be adopted, women have to be part of the debate. They have to be part of it, and that's important that push on that side as well, to have those policies in place and get women to have the flexibility that they need to take care of their families, but also to be able to grow, as professional and reach, the highest level as well of responsibility and be part of the decision-making process. It's key. It's really key to have that.
I agree. So Mireille, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm sure that my viewers will be very interested on your talk, and I'm sure that there will be many women who can be inspired by this talk, and that's the whole purpose of this interviews. Thank you so much for joining me today.
You are welcome. It's been a pleasure, and obviously it's this conversation is ongoing, and I hope that we women are gonna take the lead on all of this.
We will continue this conversation for sure. So if you guys are watching this channel for the first time and have not subscribed to my channel, do subscribe, because we have most inspiring women like Mireille on this platform on a regular basis. Thank you so much, Mireille.
Thank you for having me. It's been a pleasure.